This anime is about a Gyru girl who falls in love with a bullied boy and encounters supernatural events. The story begins with a girl named Momo, who gets dumped by her boyfriend because she has no more money to give him. Furious, she tries to kick him, but ends up getting kicked instead. Later, she vents to her friends, hoping for comfort. Her friends ask, what was so great about him anyway? Momo replies that he looked like the actor Takakura. Her friends find this ridiculous, but she defends her preference, saying she likes masculine guys like Takakura. Later, while walking around the school looking for someone to console her, Momo notices a boy being bullied by his classmates, who are throwing things at him. Unable to stand it, Momo decides to sit next to him. She asks what he's reading and looks through his book. Seeing this, the bullies stop immediately. As Momo leaves the classroom, the bullied boy follows her and asks if she also fell in love with the book like he did. He assumes that's the only reason someone like her would talk to him. Momo tells him he's misunderstood, but he doesn't listen. Instead, he assumes she also believes in aliens and starts explaining how the US military has acknowledged the existence of unidentified aerial phenomena and reformed the Space Force. He adds that Japan has also created an aerospace defense force. The boy thinks they're preparing for space wars. Momo doesn't care, but he keeps talking and won't let her go. Frustrated, she tells him he's really annoying, which is why he has no friends. After leaving, Momo feels bad, thinking she might have gone too far. She tries to cheer him up, saying that while she doesn't believe in aliens, she does believe in ghosts. The boy then laughs, making fun of her for believing in ghosts. As they argue, trying to prove their points, Momo tells the guy that her grandmother is a spirit medium, and she's seen exorcisms before, which were really intense. However, the guy doesn't believe her, arguing that there's no proof ghosts exist. Frustrated, Momo asks if he's ever seen an alien. She then proposes a contest. If ghosts are real, he will have to be her gopher, but if aliens are real, she will be his gopher instead. Later that night, Momo goes to Nagi Hospital to see aliens, as the guy suggested. He told her that if she goes to the roof of the hospital and calls for a UFO, she might experience an abduction, where aliens kidnap her and experiment on her body. Momo asks if he's been experimented on before, and the guy says there's a chance, as many people who experience abductions have their memories erased. Meanwhile, the guy arrives at the spiritual hotspot Momo had recommended. Suddenly, he feels scared but tries to calm himself. He asks Momo if she's ever seen a ghost. He's shocked to learn she hasn't. He tells her it's absurd to believe in ghosts if she's never seen one, but Momo doesn't find it odd at all. Since her grandmother is a spirit medium, she wants to believe in ghosts out of love and respect for her. Momo explains that she adores her grandmother, who raised her because she doesn't have parents. When Momo was young, her grandmother made her perform a good luck ritual before leaving the house every day. She had to do it all the way to school, and if she didn't, her grandmother would get angry. This ritual made Momo the laughingstock among the boys at school. Worse yet, the boy she liked also teased her for it. Momo became angry with her grandmother and stopped doing the ritual, and they didn't speak until recently. But that was a lie. The real reason Momo was upset wasn't that the boy she liked didn't love her back, but because he made fun of her grandmother. In reality, Momo loved her grandmother and her work as a spirit medium because it made her feel special. She admired her grandmother for raising her alone, and that's why she wants to believe in ghosts. Momo then asks the guy why he believes in aliens. He admits he doesn't have a reason. As he talks, he suddenly sees a bloody footprint walking toward him. He turns around to see a ghost behind him. Panicked, he runs as fast as he can. Momo warns him that he can't let the ghost outrun him, or he'll be cursed. However, the ghost is too fast for him to escape. Not wanting anything bad to happen to him, Momo decides to go back and help the guy. But before she can leave, she encounters 3 creepy men. She tries to run as fast as she can, but got caught. It turns out the 3 creepy men are actually aliens from planet Serpo. On their planet, only males exist, so they reproduce using cloning technology. However, because they create exact copies of themselves, there's no biological evolution. As a result, they've lost the ability to experience conflict or basic emotions. To regain reproductive functions similar to humans, they must reproduce with humans. Panicking, Momo shouts that she's still a virgin and there's no way she'll let creepy aliens take that from her. One of the aliens uses psychokinesis to control her brain waves, attempting to arouse her desire. Just as things are about to get worse, a phone rings. One of the aliens picks it up, only to be kicked in the face. The guy emerges from the phone, using it as a portal, and starts attacking the aliens. The guy is possessed by a ghost and moves at an incredible speed. Realizing they can't win, the aliens reveal their true forms and begin attacking with psychokinesis. However, the guy is too fast for them. Eventually, they manage to land a hit on him. The guy expresses his disappointment to the aliens. When he was young, he didn't have any friends, so he thought that at least aliens would be his friend. He had been calling out to the skies for a UFO since grade school, but they never came. No matter how much he called, they never showed up. Humans bullied him every day for fun, and aliens didn't acknowledge his existence. Nobody ever noticed him until he met Momo. She is the one who stood up for him. Determined to save her, the guy vows to protect Momo no matter what. Despite his determination, the guy is still powerless against the alien's psychokinesis. Meanwhile, the aliens try to use its psychokinesis on Momo to arouse her desire. Little do they know, overstimulating her brain waves accidentally causes Momo's chakras to open up. Momo suddenly remembers the advice her grandmother gave her when she was young. Her grandmother told her that if she could release her chi, she wouldn't get hurt or sick. To do this, she had to firm up her lower abs and imagine her chi shooting up from the top of her head. At the time, Momo was embarrassed to do so and told her grandmother she hated her, even calling her a fake spirit medium. But now, Momo feels grateful for that advice and is able to use her power, defeating the alien with one kick. She kicks the alien so hard that it is sent back to its UFO, destroying it. At the same time, the guy who was possessed can't control himself and attacks Momo. She then uses her power and successfully separates the ghost from the guy. However, the curse hasn't been lifted. The ghost then tells her to come to the tunnel if she wants to help the guy before leaving. Later, after escaping from the building, they both now believe in ghosts and aliens. Momo wonders what to do next. The guy tells her that he will go to the tunnel alone to lift his curse. He then takes out his clothes and asks her to wear them. He thinks all of this happened because of him, so he doesn't want to involve her any further. However, Momo doesn't care and still wants to help him. The guy then tells her that he's an awkward person and insists that she at least wear clothes. He explains that if she doesn't, he can't bring himself to speak properly. Hearing this makes her heart race because he just happened to recite one of Takakura's lines. She tries to calm down and asks the guy what his name is, only to be shocked to learn that his name is Takakura, the same name as her favorite actor. Momo refuses to accept that the guy's name is Takakura. As she melts down, the curse comes back. Momo then quickly uses her power and throws the guy against the wall. She then threatens him, saying that from now on, he should never say his name again. She then comes up with a new name for him. Since he is so involved with the occult, she decides to call him Akaran. The guy has no choice but to accept that this will be his name from now on. As they talk, they notice it is already morning. That means they can't go to the tunnel anymore since the ghost won't come out during the day. Momo then suggests that they should go to her place. Upon arriving, Momo tells Akaran to be careful because her grandma is really hard on guys. As soon as Akaran sets foot in, he immediately gets burned. Seeing this, Momo quickly uses her power to throw him into the nearby water. She then observes the gate carefully and sees a talisman paper on it, which means a barrier has been put up. After taking the talisman paper down, Akaran is able to enter safely. Momo then notices Akaran's hair and laughs at him, calling it a granny perm. Inside the house, she can't find her grandma anywhere, so she goes to her room to change her clothes. Not wanting Akaran to see her, Momo tells him to close the door. But then the curse starts to come back. Akaran have no choice but to ask Momo for help. Momo then gets embarrassed and uses her power on him, telling him to turn the other way. She is annoyed that she has to keep changing while using her power on him. After finishing changing, Momo gives her clothes to Akaran to wear. She then wonders if he still has his thing down there, because apparently, when he is cursed, his manhood has also been taken by the ghost. Akaran then panics and checks his pants, only to realize that it is gone. Momo laughs at him and tells him to show it to her, but Akaran refuses. Akaran becomes angry and blames Momo, saying all of this happened because of her, since she was the one who challenged him. Momo replies that she wasn't interested in his occult stories to begin with. The only reason she picked a fight and made a bet with him is that because he kept talking to her. Akaran then reveals his true feelings, saying that he has always wanted a friend. When she first talked to him, it made him really happy. He didn't want to miss his chance, which is why he desperately started talking to her. But now he thinks Momo actually lives in a different world. She is not someone a person like him should be talking to. Akaran then tells Momo that he is sorry for dragging her into danger. When this is all over, he wants her to just ignore him again. Hearing this, Momo gets angry and says, "That's the annoying thing about Akaran. He always assumes how others feel and jumps to conclusions without asking." She thinks the reason Akaran doesn't have friends is that he pushes them away. Momo then sits next to him and comforts him, saying she wouldn't ignore him and that they could just talk about the occult like normal. Hearing this makes Akaran shy, and then, for no reason, he calls Momo ugly, which makes her really angry. Akaran tells her that she is completely tactless for bluntly pointing out people's weaknesses like that. As they argue, they suddenly hear the doorbell. Akaran thinks it might be her grandma coming back, but Momo tells him it's unlikely. In the past, her grandma told her they have two doorbells, one for humans and one for evil spirits. Momo then realizes that because she took the talisman off, it allowed the evil spirit to enter. Momo took Akaran through her back door, planning to burn the evil spirit by placing the talisman back on the gate. Akaran then reminded her to wait until he stepped outside first because he didn't want to get burned too. Unfortunately, before they could leave, the evil spirit trapped them inside. Now, Momo couldn't put up the talisman because the gate was embedded in the wall. If she did, not only would the evil spirit be burned, but also Akaran. While they were trying to find a way out, they suddenly noticed blood coming from their nose. Momo then looked up and saw an evil spirit hovering above her. Scared, they both tried to run as fast as they could. After observing the spirit carefully, Akaran told Momo that it was not an evil spirit but actually an alien, the Flatwoods monster. They were first witnessed in a town in America called Flatwoods and are known as aliens that are 3 meters tall. Momo wondered if it was actually an alien, then why had her doorbell rung earlier? Akaran told her that studies show people who see spiritual phenomena often report seeing UFOs as well. He thought there might be something in common between evil spirits and aliens. As they talked, the alien started to release poison everywhere. Momo wanted to fight the alien, but she couldn't because she was holding back Akaran's curse, which prevented her from using her psychic powers properly. As they ran around, Akaran got an idea and told Momo to release just the physical part of the curse while keeping control of his mind. He believed that if it worked, he might be able to control the ghost's powers. Fortunately, it worked. As soon as they did that, Akaran was suddenly brimming with power. His consciousness was clear, but for some reason, in this form, he felt very depressed. Akaran walked toward the alien, glancing back at Momo. As the alien attacked, he quickly dodged and managed to cut off 5 of its fingers. Momo was impressed, thinking they might be able to defeat it. But suddenly, Akaran started coughing up blood. Seeing this, the alien stomped on him with its leg. Just as it did, Momo used her power to pull him back to safety. Apparently, Akaran's body can't handle the power of the curse. While he is in that form, he feels like his entire body is going to burst into a million pieces. Momo carefully observes the alien and realizes that its movements resemble those of a sumo wrestler. She thinks that if they can make its hand touch the ground, they might be able to win. She then tells Akaran to aim for the alien's leg while she uses her psychic power to trip it. Akaran quickly jumps toward the leg and manages to destroy one of its limbs. Meanwhile, Momo holds back the curse with her right hand and pulls the alien with her left. As soon as the alien's hand touches the ground, it immediately begins to melt. Just when they think they are about to win, the alien uses its legs to prevent itself from falling further. The alien then gets angry and throws Momo against the wall, and kept punching her. Momo, in turn, becomes angry at the alien, calling it a cheater. According to the rules, the alien should have already lost since its hand touched the ground. Momo swears that she is going to be the one to defeat the alien and tells Akaran to just stand and watch. She uses one of her hands to hold back Akaran's curse while the other points at the alien. As the alien keeps punching her into the wall, Momo realizes she is finally outside the gate. She uses her powers to pull Akaran toward her and then lifts a talisman paper with her abilities, placing it on the gate, which causes the alien to burn immediately. After the alien dies, everything goes back to normal. Momo then gets exhausted and falls unconscious. At the same time, Ocaran can't stop the curse and transforms into an evil spirit. In a live broadcast, a psychic named Santa Dodoria gives a reading on a celebrity's profile, but he keeps telling her she is wrong, making everyone think she is a fake psychic. On the way home, the taxi driver recognizes her and wants to start a conversation, but then the psychic notices something and tells the driver to drop her off. She warns him to get out of there as fast as possible if he doesn't want to die. Back to Momo, before she is about to be killed by the ghost, a nail and a brick come out of nowhere, knocking the ghost away. It is then revealed that the psychic is actually Momo's grandma. Seeing her, the ghost gets angry and moves behind her, trying to attack from her blind spot but gets burned instead. Her grandma had already predicted the ghost's actions and set a trap beforehand. If the ghost crosses the line around it, it will get burned. When she drives a warding nail inside the circle, the area inside becomes a barrier, but if she drives it outside the circle, the area outside becomes the barrier. The ghost becomes angry, saying she can't trap it forever. However, she doesn't care and replies, "I don't want to trap you. I want to kill you." The grandma then keeps swinging her baseball bat at it. Scared of dying, the ghost tells the grandma to stop, saying that if she burns her, the man she cursed will die too. The grandma replies that she will kill all scumbags who deceive her grandkid, even if they're human. After saying that, they both quickly look at the ground and see a second drawn circle. The grandma drives a warding nail into one of the circles, says her farewell to the evil spirit, and erases the first drawn circle with her foot, burning the ghost. Later, Momo wakes up alone in her room, worried about Ocaran. She quickly goes to look for him but finds her grandmother in the living room watching TV. Momo asks about Ocaran's whereabouts, concerned that he might be in danger without her to suppress his curse. She is shocked when her grandmother tells her that she already vanquished the ghost earlier. Momo then asks for more details, but her grandmother doesn't answer, reminding Momo of the time she accused her of being a fake spirit medium. Feeling guilty, Momo kneels down to apologize, asking her grandma to forgive her. Her grandmother then tells her to check the main shrine outside. Momo runs as fast as she can, hoping nothing has happened to Ocaran. As she opens the door, she is relieved to see him safe. Seeing Ocaran's face, Momo suddenly gets irritated and closes the door again. Her grandma then comes and tells her that the curse won't kick in as long as he's in there, so she can rest assured. Momo then explains everything to her grandma about how Ocaran got cursed, the alien, and the fact that she can now use psychic powers. Her grandma believes her story, except for the part about the alien. She doesn't think it exists. Her grandma tells her that the ghost that cursed Ocaran is a very powerful one. In the past, it used to be called the 100-kilo Granny, but now it is known as the Turbo Granny. When her grandma first heard about the Turbo Granny, she had already gone to check the tunnel herself, but even she couldn't get near it. The reason was that the Turbo Granny had already fused with a location-bound spirit, making it much more powerful than she could handle. Location-bound spirits are those that stay in particular places to which they have strong attachments. They are essentially the strongest within their territories, and no spirit medium would dare challenge them. Her grandma advises Momo to give up on the idea of saving Ocaran, but Momo refuses, saying that's not what her favorite actor, Mr. Ken, would do. She's determined to save Ocaran no matter what. Seeing this, her grandma smiles and teases her, saying she's totally in love with Ocaran. She then tells Momo that there's a way to defeat the ghost, and it's by playing tag with it. Since the ghost is extremely confident in its speed, it will surely accept the challenge. Momo and Ocaran must lure the ghost out of its territory without getting caught. If they manage to do that, the ghost will weaken, making it possible to defeat it. Momo isn't thrilled with the idea, as she knows there's no way she can outrun the ghost. She suggests another plan, pointing at a talisman paper and asking her grandmother why she doesn't just place it at the tunnel or something. To her surprise, her grandmother explains that she can't do that, nor can she help in the fight. Her barrier spells only work by borrowing power from the gods that reside in the area, and once they leave the city, she loses that ability. Her grandmother insists that the only way to defeat the ghost is by following her plan. Momo still tries to convince her that it's not possible for her to outrun the ghost. Just then, her grandmother opens the door, revealing Ocaran, who had been eavesdropping on their conversation. Her grandmother tells Momo that Akaran will be the one doing the running, and he needs to start training immediately. As for Momo, she tells her that she also needs to work on improving her psychic powers. After she leaves, Akaran tells Momo that he is sorry for not being able to defend her when they fought the alien earlier. He promises her that if something like that happens again, he will be the one to save her. He doesn't want her to be disappointed in him and stop being friends with him. Momo assures him that's not going to happen. Later, in the living room, Momo's grandmother watches a news report revealing that the celebrity she performed clairvoyance for had their secrets exposed, confirming that her predictions were correct. The next day, during training, Akaran suddenly needs to use the bathroom, which is a big problem because Momo has to keep an eye on him constantly for her spell to work, meaning she would have to watch him while he relieves himself. Neither of them is comfortable with that. Momo doesn't want to watch, and Akaran certainly doesn't want to be watched. Momo then asks her grandmother if there's another way. Her grandmother asks Momo how she is able to hold back his curse in the first place. Momo explains that she can see an aura around Akaran, and when she crushes that aura with her hands, it shrinks and the curse subsides. Everyone has some kind of aura, and they come in all sorts of colors. Momo can also see them on trees and rocks too. She can grab all those auras and move them at her will, though only in a small area. She tells her grandma that when she first awakened her power, it was a lot stronger than it is now. At that time, she felt invincible. Her grandma then tells her to close her eyes and try using all of her senses to suppress the curse in Akaran. Momo follows her advice and tries, but it doesn't work at all. Unable to hold it any longer, Akaran rushes toward the bathroom but is stopped by Momo, telling him he has some nerve to take a dump in someone else's house. Akaran then rushes to the back door of the house, while pursued by Momo and her grandma. While using the bathroom, Akaran gets so embarrassed that he covers his face the entire time. Momo's grandma then tells Momo that the reason her power was so strong when she first awakened is because that was her original power, but for some reason, it has been sealed off. In order to get her power back, she has to unleash it bit by bit through training. As she talks, Momo realizes her eyes aren't on Akaran. She quickly looks back at him, only to see the ghost. She immediately tells her grandma about it but is shocked to see her grandmother not moving at all, with blood coming from her nose. Angrily, Momo asks the ghost what it's doing to her grandmother. The ghost explains that its curse is contagious through Akaran. Anyone he sees can be cursed to death. It then threatens Momo, telling her to come to the tunnel that night, or it will use Akaran to curse everyone around them. After the ghost leaves, Akaran and her grandmother return to normal. Momo then explains everything to her grandmother. At night, Momo's grandmother makes them wear bulletproof vests for protection against evil spirits and prays for their safety. Before they leave, she hugs Momo tightly, telling her to return safely. On the train ride to the tunnel, Momo is filled with anger toward the ghost for threatening to harm someone she cares about and vows to beat it to a pulp. She then changes into a stylish outfit, saying she can't get excited unless she's wearing the clothes she wants to wear. If you come this far, please consider liking and subscribing for more videos like this. Thank